Many of you might be interested to secure your dream business franchise this 2024. But what are the factors to keep in mind to pick the right one? Joining us tonight is the Philippine Franchise Association Chairman, Chris Lim. Chris, great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, it is the new year, and of course, the Chinese and Lunar New Year are soon to be upon us, and everyone wants to start the year right with a business. What is the right business?
You know, one of the best businesses, of course, is franchising. Really, a lot of people have got into franchising kasi a lot of them lost their businesses over the pandemic. They saw the high risk. Franchising really is a lower risk way of getting into business kasi tinuturuan ka na. You know, you get taught how to run it, you get guided, you get the branding. You get a lot of it right from day one.
Yeah, because those who have failed in their businesses start their own brand, no? And you have to really start it from ground up. But when it is a franchise, it already has recall and brand equity.
Definitely. Beyond the recall and brand equity, imagine you get a shawarma franchise that's been there for 15 years. You're actually getting 15 years of learnings from day one. And you're avoiding 15 years worth of mistakes. I think that's the beauty of franchising. The main thing you have to think about is, how are you gonna run it? How do you hire the right people? Looking for the right location. Hindi mo isipin, ano yung brand ko? Magkano ko ibebenta? You know, you're really just looking at how to operate. And
the menu is there, the product lineup is there, the price list and the price tag is already given to you.
On top of that, innovation pa. Not only is the product there, continuous. Binibigyan ka na new products, new innovations.
All right. So, when you get, let's say I'm a business person, I have my own franchise, from the very beginning, the franchisor will teach you every step of the way.
It is. It can range from 3 days to 2 months, depending how complicated the business is. They'll train you, not just you, but your staff. Very important that they train your staff kasi sila yung, they'll be running it day to day. They give you a whole manual. A credible franchisor will give you a manual that can be anywhere from 300, 500, 1,000 pages long para, you know, anything that goes wrong, there's something you can refer to. It's all written down. Not only that, you get to call someone, you know, you call head office, call the franchisor. They'll probably tell you, you know what, that mistake, I've done it before. This is how I solved it.
All right. If you take a look at 2023, was there a lot of interest among our kababayans to start their own franchise?
Definitely. You know, 2023, the world's biggest franchise show, the biggest franchise show we've ever done in the Philippines happened last October. We had over 60,000 visitors. And it's really because people just realize that just having a salary alone may not be enough.
Yeah.
You know, that's why there's a lot of people with a side gig, side jobs. But they realize, you know what, ang ganda ng my side business as well, just to get that extra cash flow for that extra security.
But Chris, do you have to run your franchise personally, hands-on, or can you just get a manager to run it for you?
Depends on the franchise, you know. I mean, you get a kiosk franchise. If you have a full-time business, you're probably not going to be frying there every day. So you could get a manager, you could hire a staff. What's important, though, is you know what's happening to the business. You can't just hire someone, expect it to run by itself. You know, you visit it every few days, you look at some of the numbers. Kailangan natin to make sure na it's being run well.
All right, when you're talking about the numbers, the accounting, right? Because every item has a cost. So should the franchisee check the numbers every day? So at least he knows what's going in, what's going out, and how much he earned and how much he or she lost on that day.
It would be good. I mean, if it's not every day, at least at the end of the week to reconcile it, just to understand ano ba nangyari sa business, you know? I mean, how are my sales? What are my expenses? Kasi sometimes they realize their expenses are shooting up. Maybe it's because of theft, maybe it's because of high wastage. They need to know. Numbers tell you the story. I think something with a business owner, you don't need to be an accountant, but you need to be able to at least understand the basic numbers para you know what's happening with the business, even if you're not there physically.
Whenever I go to the malls or to shopping centers, I see food, drinks, milk tea, soft drinks, all kinds of halo-halo drinks. Apart from this very popular trend, I mean, what other franchise ideas are our kababayans getting into?
Oh. Alam mo, that's interesting. Of course, food is about half the market, but it's just half. The other half is service and retail. You know, the Korean wave, it started with food, with all the samgyeopsals you've seen. But
Ang
now
dami.
ang dami niyan.
They're all over the place.
Definitely, but it's entered actually retail. You know, you have things like Funhan Mart. It's a Korean grocery. You have mga K-Skin, which actually is a Korean skin beauty. That's 15 minutes. So combining Korean and really our thirst for something more convenient. Ang dami niyan. There's even health. You know, when it comes to health, you have dialysis centers franchising diagnostic centers. But the first time ever as well, Manila Hearing Aid. So a hearing aid franchise looking at franchising. So ang dami niyan. Beyond that, you know...
But are these profitable, these non-food business franchises?
Definitely. I think some of these, some of them are smaller investments, some are bigger investment, but highly profitable because it's entering a market which is less competitive.
And what about you yourself? You're the chairman of the Philippine Franchise Association. Which businesses do you run right now and do you franchise?
Well, on a day-to-day, I run Fran Corp, which is a franchise consulting company that's worked with about 900 of the major brands here in the Philippines. But at the same time, you know, we invest in different clients, different franchises. You know, we have a school, Canadian Tourism Hospitality Institute from Canada, Seriously Addictive Mathematics. It's a math tutorial. So we do invest as well. So I'm a consultant, I'm a franchisee, I'm a franchisor, but at the same time, you know, we're also in the association.
And how important is location for a franchise?
Alam mo, location is still very critical. I know there's a lot of online, there's deliveries, but at the end of the day, location is still critical because if you just rely on online, you're competing with everyone else out there. But at the end of the day, whether it's food, service, retail, location is still critical. And maganda dito kasi the franchisor helps you with that as well. You find a location, the franchisor can come in, take a look at it as well, give you some advice on it.
So it should also be a dual platform right now, especially after the pandemic. You have the service, you have the online platform, and you still have to have that physical store.
Oh, definitely. Kasi if I look at even some of the big brands, you know, maybe offline, online is 20%, 30%. There are some that reach 50% depending on the category. But, you know, if you're not there, then you're losing half, you know, 50%. Plus, if you're just all online, wala kang differentiation. You're just competing with everyone else, and then everyone can open a website. Anyone can open a website tomorrow.
So this year, do you see more of our kababayans getting into franchising compared to 2023?
Yeah, definitely. We're looking at least maybe a 10-15% increase in people looking at franchises. And because it's a mix, it could be employees. A lot of them are landlords as well, you know, wanting
to use their property.
Wanting to use their property, so they balance rent as well as operating income. You even have people who lost their jobs, lost their businesses during the pandemic. And they said, I want to restart, but I don't want to take on all that risk immediately.
All right, but before, of course, you start a franchise and talk to a brand, there is a cost, right? There's what you call a franchise fee.
Yeah.
Has it gone up amid inflation and rising prices?
Franchise fees in general haven't gone up, but of course, the whole capital, because of the increase in cost of labor, of capital, of construction, tumaas ng konti. But franchise fees in general haven't gone up as much. I think because the idea really with franchising is you want to encourage people to open the franchise. The income of franchisors isn't the franchise fee. It's the ongoing royalty. It's you buying continuously products from them. So they're making income on that side.
All right, give us an example. What would be the most reasonable and cheapest franchise to set up?
You know, on the low end, franchises can range from anywhere 300,000 up to about 50 to 100 million. I haven't seen many franchises that
What is the 300 to 400, 500,000 level?
You know, Mr. Donut Kiosk, Potato Corner, some of the shawarmas, they're at about that level, 3, 4, 500,000.
So 3, 400, 500,000, where does this go to? Does this already go to the kiosk, to the stand, to the payment of the rental?
Yeah, some of that goes to a franchise fee, some of that to the kiosk. your initial working capital, mga supply. So usually that's all in. And they'll tell you naman if it's a package, what's included in it. Very important is they show it to you upfront. And I think very important here, I know a lot of our kababayans on Facebook, they see 50,000 pa lang,
Yeah.
you'll own 5 branches na, you'll get guaranteed dividends. These are not true. These are not
These are
franchises.
scams.
These are scams. No one can guarantee. I mean, we've been in business for quite some time. No one can ever guarantee you a dividend. So just be very careful. These co-investment franchises, a lot of them are not real franchises, are not as credible.
Chris Lim, thank you so much for sharing with us your knowledge about franchising in the Philippines, the chairman of the Philippine Franchise Association.
Thank you for having me.